Hey, listen to Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and MPR. As always, I'm Grady, and live on Skype we got Josh.
Hey.
It is the post-WrestleMania Roundup, and that means we're going to have to try and squash our way through 18 matches in 28 minutes. That means most matches will not get longer than a minute, but we're going to start off with day one, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeating the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships.
That's going to be a theme over the next two nights. Titles changing hands.
Yeah.
We just didn't expect this one. It was a good match. Could definitely probably... I think Nikki's shown the most, though, out of that match. More than she had at any point prior. Even in that first title reign that they had. It was mostly built on Bliss's back. But Nikki did her fair share in this match for them to earn the titles.
Yeah, I watched night one with my aunt, uncle, and cousin, who were all pretty casual guys. And then after night one, my uncle was like, I think that women's tag match was my favorite match. And he just really liked that one. Ultimately, I think the Kabuki Warriors losing the belts is probably because they wanted to get back to using Asuka as a single star. What does it mean for Kairi's future? I don't know.
Probably a return to NXT. And probably a feud with Io Shirai.
We will have to wait and see, because obviously everything now is, 1, 2, 3, 6 months down the line. We will see where WWE goes from here. But the next match is Elias defeating King Corbin and getting his revenge.
That dastardly roll-up strikes again.
The next match that people will definitely not forget happened. Becky Lynch successfully defends her title against Shayna Baszler.
Fun fact, the match before it was longer.
Yep. This might go down as most shocking match.
Yeah, there's definitely a story that they're planning to tell here. I'm not quite sure what it is, but my worst nightmare did come true from this weekend. And that's the 1-year reign of Becky Lynch continues.
Yeah,
but she won with a roll-up. So Shayna's not hurt by that, and it gives her an excuse to say, to challenge Becky later on down the line, saying that Becky basically just survived her. She didn't beat her.
Yeah, obviously it was a roll-up while Shayna still had the armbar, I believe. And it was like... the Carafuna clutch. It was... I don't know. I'm gonna just go with shocking. I didn't expect it to be so short. I didn't expect Becky to win. I didn't expect it to end in that fashion. There wasn't a lot about that match that I actually expected going into it, which is good. You don't like knowing the exact formula of a match when you show up. So it was an interesting one with an outcome I didn't expect. I feel like they're just going, as you say, down the route to have a Shayna rematch down the line, where she just gets a rematch.
Although
probably
Raw could throw one heck of a monkey wrench in there, or should I say an EST-sized monkey wrench?
There's a bigger wrench. That wasn't meant to be a size-on pun, by the way. Nia Jax also returned on Raw.
Well, yeah, Becky's whole run began with Nia breaking her face. Could it end with that?
Yeah,
I'd rather have Bianca Belair beat her.
That's true. The Raw Women's Division's definitely heating up. We'll have to wait and see again, because everything's so far out in the future. So many decisions can be made and so many minds can be changed between now and then. Next up, the Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn successfully defending against Daniel Bryan.
The first half of this match, he ran. He ran for his life. I loved the interactions between Gulak and Cesaro and Shinsuke. They were pretty fun. Again, I think this match was hurt by not having a crowd. Because I think they would have absolutely gone wild during this match at different points.
Mm-hmm.
there was also a very scary moment with one of Daniel Bryan's suicide dives where he crashed into the barricade, which I would suspect probably would have been a lot worse had there been a crowd, because they probably wouldn't have moved as much as it did.
Yeah.
That said, Sammy had an ingenious way to retain his title, but countering whatever Daniel Bryan was trying to do off the top rope with a haluva kick.
A flying nothing, I think those are referred to. Yeah, honestly, the winner out of these 5 men is, to me, Drew Gulak. Obviously, Sami Zayn retains his title. The Artist Collective get to be on the winning side. Daniel Bryan had a title match and all this, but Drew is the one that is truly shining. Crowd or no crowd.
Speaking of the Artist Collective, I really wish a certain commentator was still wrestling, because he would fit in so well with them. And I'm obviously talking about Aiden English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he would slot in pretty nicely, and also have an ability to show such personality. We got it from him during Rusev Day stuff, and Drew's getting this little bit of spotlight now.
Yeah, good for Gulak.
Good for Gulak. Put that on a shirt. The next up was the SmackDown Tag Team Championships being defended in a triple threat ladder match between singles competitors Morrison, Jimmy, and Kofi.
Probably the 3 most athletic of the 6 people that would have been involved in the match. Had Miz not shown up ill.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I thought this was a decent match. Again, I think it would have been a match that would have had the crowd absolutely raving. And it had probably the most unique ending to a match that seems logical, like it should have happened a long time ago, but for some reason never happened this way. Because you've always got these iconic moments of seeing people hanging out from the titles, but never has the title actually come undone by hanging from it until Saturday night.
The way it was done was so unique, when they pull the belts on the coat hanger, I'm going to keep calling it that, whether it's that or not. They pull the coat hanger off and you're like, it's unhooked. And all 3 men are standing there with a hand on the coat hanger. And you're like, what is going to happen here? This is clearly the end of the match. Something's going to happen here. And then double headbutt to Morrison, and you see him just slowly falling backwards, and you're like, okay, which of these 2 are going to win? And then the bell rings, and you're like, what? And then they pan down, and John Morrison's just holding on to the 2 belts that he ripped off, and it was just so well done. And I don't know if it's because it was pre-taped and they could get the angles perfect or whatever, but it was so well shot. It was just so well done. And there's a few moments in both nights of WrestleMania where I think they did that, where they were able to get really inventive with the way they shot it. And it really added to the fact that you couldn't have done, live with the crowd and stuff. So, positives and negatives. But the next match was Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, and then the match after that was Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. Basically, Seth Rollins hit Kevin Owens in the head with the bell, gets himself disqualified, and then Kevin pretty much says, we're restarting, this is a no DQ match.
And the Zaya's group did not help him.
No.
Kevin Owens got his moment. Seth's had plenty of them. Whether he was at the winning or losing end of them, he still had plenty of moments. This is really Kevin Owens' biggest moment so far.
And he wanted us to all know that, when he's standing up on top of the WrestleMania sign and he screams out, hey Seth, how's this for a WrestleMania moment? And then jumps off the WrestleMania sign. He's got the spirit of Shane McMahon in him.
Ironic, considering the feud he had with him a couple years ago.
Secretly, he absorbed the spirit at that point.
So that's what happened when Shane jumped off the cell. His spirit left his body.
Yeah.
And then he became a soulless husk who we haven't really seen a lot since the rebranding of the brand extension with Fox.
Can't wrestle without a soul. That's in Kevin Owens. We'll jump into the Universal Championship match. It was 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Goldberg versus Braun Strowman. I think it was spear, kick out, power slam, running power slam, 1, 2, 3. Roughly.
I think there was another spear in the middle of the power slams.
Maybe, I don't recall.
But yeah, it was a short match. It did exactly what had to be done. Got the title off the part-timer and put it on somebody who could hold it until we find out when Roman Reigns can return.
Yeah. Until the normalcy has returned. And honestly, if there's something, or a winner, it's real weird talking about this, a winner of this whole COVID-19 stuff, it really is Braun Strowman. This guy wouldn't have had an opportunity to run with a world title. We talked about how he deserved it a little bit earlier on in his career and stuff, but, it might be a few years late or a year late, but he's got it now. He's in that legacy, that list of guys.
Yeah, we'll just have to see where they go from here. I do know that as of right now, WWE is not planning to take a break, so we will have content.
Don't know what that content will be. And then finally, the last match on day one, The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Boneyard match. Half my household was entertained, half my household fell asleep.
It was definitely interesting. It definitely played into the supernatural powers of The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a pretty decent match, which was what I was wanting, considering the circumstances and stuff. But did we really need the ABA Taker back?
I have such weird theories on this match. Maybe I want to deep dive on this next week, depending, because I don't think we're going to have A, a whole lot of time this week, and B, a whole lot to talk about next week. So I think we might deep dive on this match a little bit next week. But that means it is time to slide into our song. We're about halfway through now. And we will be playing Drew McIntyre's theme song. No spoilers. And you're back with Wrestling Roundup on FreeFM, ArrowFM, and NPR. I'm Grady, he's Josh, and it is time to kick into day 2 of WrestleMania 36. First match on the card, a surprising title change, as Charlotte Flair is your new NXT Women's Champion.
I'm alright with it. It is what it is. Charlotte can definitely do a lot of things, and definitely bring up the prestige of the title even more up, considering her role in the company. And it'll be fun to see Rhea eventually get her moment back.
Mm-hmm.
And it's possible they may have been wanting to give Rhea a moment when there actually is a crowd to cheer for her.
Yeah, it's possible. Especially on a few of these matches, you're like, maybe they're just holding off for the cheering or the booing or the crowd reaction.
But, hey, there's no shame in losing to Charlotte Flair. And Rhea Ripley can say that at 22, 23, she had a main event caliber match at WrestleMania for a title. I mean, that's not a lot of people at her age can say something like that.
Mm-hmm. She's got a lot of career in front of her.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing people that are absolutely up in arms about this decision are forgetting. Rhea Ripley is young. She has tons of time to get her moment.
And then right after the surprising title change comes the Nothing match. This time it is in the form of Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley.
And we faded to black.
The feel-good moment of WrestleMania 36.
There was another moment you got exactly what you wanted.
Yep. I'm very happy.
Yeah, it really, I have to wonder, this was really, really done storyline-wise.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing with Otis and Dolph Ziggler and Mandy Rose. And to a degree, Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
Although that was really towards the end. And then this mysterious truth-bringer reveals that Sonya was the reason why Otis was late to his date.
Yep. It was
And that
classic
kind of
story.
breaks up Fire and Desire. And now Otis has what he wanted. He has Mandy.
Mm-hmm.
And he got to crush Dolph in the process.
Yeah.
A former world champion. Otis is a made man right now. They could
100%.
split Heavy Machinery up and make Otis a mega star. I hope they don't, because the tag division needs Heavy Machinery, at least for now. But it's definitely an option. Otis is over as heck.
Mm-hmm.
He has been basically since the day that they walked into the main roster.
Yeah. He's got it. He's got star written all over him. Then the next match is longer than the show will be going today. I believe the second longest match in WrestleMania history. Edge taking on Randy Orton in a last man standing match for 36.5 minutes.
Wow. Long match. But with it being a last man standing match, it's kind of to be expected to be a longer match. And with all the methodical planning and stuff these two are known for, especially Orton, the lengths that he's willing to go, and then Edge when he was at his height as the ultimate opportunities. Why would anybody expect a last man standing match to be a short match?
Mm-hmm.
Especially with these two and the stakes that they had built that story over. This is what the WrestleMania 25 match between Orton and Triple H should have been. It should have been a hardcore, let's throw all the rules out the window and let's have a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can watch Randy Orton get killed. Because that's what we want as fans.
Yeah.
Because of the stuff he's done up to that point.
I see a lot of people on Twitter saying, the match should have been 10 minutes shorter or whatever. But the thing was, when I was watching it, I didn't know that it had gone 30 minutes. I wasn't sitting there going, oh man, this is long. I was sitting there on the edge of my seat wanting to see how Edge and Orton were going to hurt each other next. They were able to pull off so many unique spots, again, because of the way the show was filmed. Edge, there's randomly chain link fence on the roof of a meeting room that Edge climbs on and then does an elbow drop off of onto Randy on top of a meeting room table. They climb on top of a production truck. They're doing goddamn Randy Orton's second rope DDT off the top of a pickup truck into the flatbed. Like, this is insane stuff. They were attacking each other with the ladders backstage that were used in the night before. There was continuity there. There was just an amazing match. And again, the sign to me of a good match, and the fact that it did not matter that it was 36 minutes, is I got a text from my grandfather, my 72-year-old grandfather after this, that said that was the best goddamn last man standing match I've ever seen. And he is hard to please.
I'll have to watch this again and then watch the double tie match between Triple H and HBK from like 2004.
Compare them?
Where they had a last man standing match and ended with neither of them winning. Because though that one for a long time has been my favorite last man standing match. So I'll have to watch this one again. And then watch the other one.
Well,
it was a good match. It was a great match.
I've had enough ranting about this match. Let's move on. Street Profits Raw Tag Team Championships. They defeated the team of Garza and Austin Theory with a little bit of help of the EST.
Yeah, we got Bianca is finally on the main roster. She didn't get an NXT title reign, but hey, she's up with the smoke, and hopefully Montez Ford is not seriously hurt. Because that was a nasty spill that he took during the match.
Yeah, well, depending on taping orders, they did have a 6-man tag match on Raw the next night, just to confirm Bianca Belair was on Raw. She cut a nice little promo. The EST of NXT is now the EST of WWE. Belair and Street Profits versus Zelina, Garza, and Theory. Neat little match. But I think everybody's all good in finesies.
Yeah, I heard there was possible back injury involved when with that missed his little backflip thing he does when he jumps over the top rope.
Yeah.
That's it. I think the Street Profits are an amazing gimmick, and I think Bianca's just on to elevate them.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more that they'll be able to do, especially if that weekender thing that they do, parody thing. If they could add Bianca into it and do so much more stuff. I love Bianca Belair. I love the Street Profits. I want to see them become megastars.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think they all have the potential, especially Bianca and Montez Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Dawkins is almost the Marty Jannetty in this situation.
Oof.
But he still has potential.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the SmackDown Women's Championship. It was a fatal 5-way match. Every single competitor eliminates Tamina, then Sasha eliminates Naomi, then Lacey eliminates Sasha, then Bayley eliminates Lacey with the help of Sasha Banks, and then Sasha Banks holds the SmackDown Women's title and looks at Bayley deep in the eyes before handing it over.
Gee, they sure do love drawing things out, don't they?
Again, I think this was one of those things where they saved for the crowd. I think the Sasha Banks turning on Bayley, or the Bayley turning on Sasha Banks moment, they want the crowd booing and reacting to. I think they waited.
Yeah. We'll definitely have to see where they go from here. But yeah, Bayley's basically been champion, in minus 1 week, basically been champion for 9 months herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey. Good for Bayley. She's got a character that's working, and we've got an obvious feud coming. Just a matter of pulling the actual trigger, which they seem to be hesitant on, which they've been hesitant on for like 3 years now.
Yeah. The next match was our second cinematic match. It was the Firefly Funhouse match, The Fiend taking on John Cena. And boy, was it a trip. I've watched it 3 times and I still don't understand most of it.
It was basically John Cena's worst fears all wrapped up in one match.
Mm-hmm.
His bad debut, nearly getting fired. His switching to the Doctor of Thugonomics gimmick stuff that actually worked and got him over. And then you had probably the moment that everybody will remember this entire match for. The NWO stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the closest you will ever get. At this point in time, it's possible in the future, but unlikely, to a heel John Cena.
Yeah.
And he just had to be Hollywood Hogan. Because, of course, that's the equivalent of what John Cena would be if he was to turn heel. What Hogan did in '96.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they basically acknowledge that's what would have happened had he actually turned heel. But it was basically just everything that's seen his entire career basically wrapped up in one match. And then him disappearing at the end of the match.
Forever.
After he lost. Basically could be a retirement hint.
I think if it is, like, I think maybe it's 50-50. If it is such a BA way to go out.
Yeah, it's definitely... And this also lets people finally shut the heck up about the Bray Wyatt's loss to Cena at WrestleMania 31.
Oof, that ending, though, with John Cena's own promo, overlaying him about overhyped and everything.
Yeah, and how about the moment when he actually used the chair on Bray this time, instead of refusing to do so like in the original match, which eventually led to his downfall.
Yeah. Lots of callbacks and lots of moments there where you just say, Bray had the upper hand that entire match.
Yeah, this match, basically, this is what happens when you get as high as Jeff Hardy was in Victory Road 2011, and then try to watch a wrestling match.
Well, someone else who was riding high, Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. Spears into the corner, German, German, German. F5, kick out at 1. F5, kick out at 2. F5, kick out at 3. Claymore, 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 pin.
Yeah,
I probably missed a few,
hope Brock
but...
Lesnar enjoys his punning to Claymore Country, because that is basically the way it had to go. Drew had to come out of this with the championship, or you just wasted the last 3 months of people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think Brock's probably at the end of his current contract anyway, so... or at the very least, he's run out of dates for the time being. So yeah, let's put the title on Drew and see where we go. See how he performs as the man for Raw.
Well, we're running out of time, but I do want to mention immediately after this match, they ended up showing this on Raw, but immediately after this, the Big Show returns, comes out with a referee and challenges Drew McIntyre for the belt, and Drew immediately defends it in a 7-minute match with the Big Show and picks up the win. So not only did he defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, but he beat Big Show straight afterwards as well.
Yeah, but since it was a dark match, it doesn't really count as a match at WrestleMania.
But it aired at Raw, so in theory we could say on Raw.
Yeah, Drew had one heck of a night. That's for sure.
Well, so did we. WrestleMania 36 was quite an interesting one, but we're all out of time. It's been great talking to you.
Bye.
You can visit our Facebook page, facebook.com/Wrestling R Radio, Twitter page, twitter.com/Wrestling R Radio, and we'll see you next week.